The weather forecast with Coloca and its multipurpose banquet hall, Il Palazzo.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and hope you are enjoying the festive season. Between tonight and tomorrow morning, temperatures will be between 11 to 25 degrees. The highest in the far north will be 18 degrees and 13 to 15 in the Adamawa region and 15 to 18 degrees in the east region. The center will be between 19 to 22, 21 to 25 in the south and 11 to 14 degrees in the west region, with the southwest between 18 to 19 degrees. Next, we go on to the north region, where this evening is a 0% chance of precipitation and same thing by morning with the least temperature at Cholire. Next, we go over to the littoral region, where this evening will be no rainfall in the entire region, and same thing by morning with Kongsamba having the least temperature. Lastly, we go over to the northwest, where this evening will be no rainfall in the entire region, and same thing by morning with Fundong having the least temperature at 12 degrees. I encourage you to make out time and pay an adventurous trip to the Tungo waterfall in Babanki. Thank you for watching, and do have a good night.
Coming up tonight, CAF boss Ahmad announces a possible change of date of Cameroon's AFCON from June to January 2021. What are the implications and how ready are infrastructure? Legislation on bilingualism that gives the English and French languages equal status and orders its use in all offices and every official document has been appreciated by many a Cameroonian. And the usual hustle and bustle that characterize preparations for a new year has not been observed in Yaoundé day after Christmas and barely a week to 2020. The details right now. Thanks for watching the 7:30 news on CRTV. I am Moki Edwin Kinzaka in Yaoundé. Let's open this news with the 2021 Africa Football Cup of Nations that Cameroon will be hosting. The date for the competition may now be in January instead of June 11 to July 9 as initially planned. This possible shift of date was announced by CAF President Ahmad in an interview granted to Inside World Football, a website based in Qatar. How ready will Cameroon be to host matches if the date is changed? Baldwin Sama attempts an answer.
This will be one of the epic centers for matches of the 2021 Africa Cup of Nations, be it in January or June 2021. The Olympic Sports Complex before will be ready and have matches played here. Here, glasses around the presidential tribune have been fitted with the access path leading into the stadium ready. Quite imposing and beautiful to watch are the different seats of the stadium that have been fitted with the different sound systems, such as the speakers already available at different points. Close to 1,000 more workers to be recruited in January 2020 to work 24 on 24 daily and to respect the deadline.
We are here just to finalize the works and to put all the input of McGill coming from Douala and coming from the subcontractors and contractors and the national workers. Work here goes on smoothly with McGill officials ready to give Cameroon one of our best stadiums as the different commentary booths are ready for the competition. The next stadium is ready with a pitch already, a tribune with seats fitted. Part of the parking lot at the Olympic Sports Complex is ready as one can easily drive into the stadium now. At the Omnisport Stadium that hosted the 2016 Women's Africa Cup of Nations, the stadium simply waits for the actors come 2021 as it is ready in all aspects for the competition. Be it therefore in January or June 2021, Cameroon will be ready as our hospitality, ability and prowess in successful organizations will be showcased as the final decision from CAF's Executive Committee on the final date of the competition is awaited.
Sports, lodging and road facilities earmarked for the 2021 AFCON in Douala have experienced significant progress. While the different stadia are already set, roads that link the main stadium in Japoma are busy with renovation works. most lodging facilities are ready. Rene Kache visited the various facilities and now reports from Douala.
In less than 4 months, the city of Douala will vibrate to the rhythm of the 2020 African Nations Football Championship, a tournament that will also serve as a dress rehearsal for the 2021 African Nations Cup. With barely 1 year to the kickoff of the AFCON, much has been done already in terms of sports and lodging facilities in the city. The 50,000-seater Japoma Stadium, which is the biggest in the city of Douala, was completed some 5 months ago. The beautiful giant ultra-modern structure with 2 training fields can now host matches of international standards. The keys to the second biggest football playground in Douala, the Bepanda Omnisport Stadium, will be handed over to Cameroonian authorities in March 2020. The stadium that was first constructed for the 1972 AFCON has been completely refurbished by Canadian construction firm McGill Construction to suit FIFA standards. A training field has also been added to the Bepanda facility that recently played host to a training session of the Indomitable Lions. In addition, the Mbapelepe and Bonamusadi stadia that will serve as training grounds for teams that will be launched in Douala also saw the light of day some 8 months ago. While the different companies charged with the responsibility of renovating roads leading especially to the Japoma Sports Complex have hardly known sleep in recent times, there is increasing hope and optimism among the local population. Given the importance of the AFCON, management of homologated hotels have touched all angles with particular attention on the fitness centers. There is therefore no doubt that even if the AFCON were to be played in January and February of 2021, Douala will be ready to play an integral part in the success of the continental soccer extravaganza.
Contractors working on AFCON 2021 projects in the West region say they will be ready. Stadium and lodging facilities are near completion. Chancellor Nanze reports that emphasis should be laid now on access roads.
The streets are as busy as a beehive in Bafoussam, even though it is Boxing Day. The various companies in charge of either renovating or constructing roads in the town have no time to rest. This is the stretch of road linking the military camp in Kamkop to the heart of the town. The workers are going about their business. They don't even have a minute to spare for the reporters' questions. The gutters are done with, gravel has been placed, and tarring has begun. It is the same scenario in most of the construction sites in the city. For the bypass road linking the Bamungum roundabout to the airport and to the TPO roundabout in Bafoussam, the contractors have assured that it will take them 2 more months to deliver.
We still have 2 months to finish all the work at this moment because we are now making the last course concerning bitumen work.
This is, however, not the case with the deviation from Torbo in Banjul to Kwekong. Work has slowed down because the contractors must crack their way through this rocky mountain here in Diambu Menjo 2. Away from road, the 14 blocks Bafoussam Referral Hospital stands at 68%, and the contracting company is poised that the health facility will be in use by mid-2020.
Out of the 14 advanced and more than 10 blocks until now. We are targeting to finish all the civil works and the finishing works by this February 2020. We'll be testing our systems here by March, and I think the medical equipments at the same time they will be installed, and mid-2020 the hospital will be functional and can be receiving patients.
At the level of the stadia, the parking lot of the Bafoussam Omnisport Stadium in Kwekong that will contain 2,080 cars is complete. The media zone is yet to be completed, while the athletics tracks of the annex stadium are still to be traced. Mbuda stands at 99%, Bamenji is complete, while Banjul has an execution rate of 93%, with emphasis to be laid on the athletic tracks and the parking lot. The lodging facilities dotted in Bana in the Upper Nkam, Bangu in the Upper Plateau and Bafoussam in the Mifi respect international norms.
Works on sporting and other infrastructure for the 2021 AFCON in Garua is said to almost be complete. Maina Umaru, technical coordinator of Motor Angel, one of the construction companies in Garua, says 98% of their tasks have been accomplished. Wilson Mingoli reports from Garua.
The Rundi Adzeomi Sports Stadium, the main competition ground, and its annexed playground for training are all ready for any CAF or FIFA tournaments of any magnitude. This is thanks to the construction and renovation works carried out by Motor Engine, the Portuguese company charged with the works of the AFCON-related projects in Garua.
We are almost at 98% of execution. So at this moment, Rumjaja is almost ready to host the AFCON. We are just now finishing the athletic track to put the Rumjaja Stadium in the high standard to be able to host the AFCON in Cameroon. This annex stadium is almost ready. We are just now finishing with the athletic track to give out this annex stadium. And concerning the other two stadiums that the government of Cameroon want to give to us, we are just now waiting for the procedure from the maître d'ouvrage MINSEP to start the work immediately as soon as possible that we have all the service.
The hotels and road network have also received facelifts ahead of the continent's most prestigious soccer competition.
Motor Angel have to construct a new hotel for start, 70 rooms in Garua, and the hotel is almost ready. All the rooms are equipped, everything is almost ready. We are just now finishing the external works involving the parkings and some areas, put this hotel at the good standards.
These construction and renovation works have gratified the population of Garua, whose high expectations were that this time around, all infrastructure related to the continent's biggest soccer showcase be ready for the show.
An evaluation of Cameroon's 2019 from an Olympic and sporting perspective has been made during an extraordinary committee meeting of the National Olympic and Sports Committee in Yaoundé today. The deliberations, chaired by the committee's president, Colonel Kakaba Marbum, previewed into today's commitments in 2020, including Olympic Games in Tokyo, Japan. Jeffrey Abani has more.
This executive committee session was fruitful on two fronts. At a statutory level, the organigram of Cameroon's National Olympic and Sports Committee has been reshaped with the adoption of a new document that conforms to the statutes of the International Olympic Committee.
Our new organizational chart that is reducing the number of our executive bureau members and also the number of our board of directors member. You know, at the beginning we had about 33 members of the board of directors, and now we are having 21.
From a sporting perspective, members made an evaluation of the various national and international competitions in which the committee was involved in 2019, with special emphasis laid on the upcoming challenges in 2020.
For 2020, we are mainly focusing on the Olympic Games, the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games, but also we have another challenge, that is the National Games of Cameroon, scheduled in December 2020 in Bamenda, and we think that it will be the contribution of the Olympic Committee in fostering peace in this part of our region.
Peace and unity, an objective set for 2020 and accompanied with the dream of harvesting a medal, 2 or more, at the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games.
Some former separatist fighters lodged at the Disarmament, Demobilization and Reintegration Center in Bamenda have appealed to the government to fully empower them economically. During a Christmas event, the converted separatists argued that an initiative will further convince pro-independence forces still in active fighting to drop their weapons. Kilo Valerin Sala reports from Bamenda.
More than 3 years into the socio-political unrest, the Northwest continues to portray an image of a crisis region. Kidnappings, killings and sporadic gun battles are still heard of. Logically, the celebration of Christmas at the Disarmament, Demobilization and Reintegration Center in Bamenda went beyond feasting to appeals for peace in the crisis-hit region.
I was a fighter at Kumbu. What they deceived me of, that for 2-3 months I will be a man of myself. I will be having a job. I will have something doing of myself. When I went into the bush, I saw that life there wasn't easy for me. So I decided that is not my portion.
We have begun calling our brother who are still in the bushes. They are asking us questions, what have the government done to set an example for us to have confidence and lay down our arms and come to DDR Center. So now like this, we are pleading for a government to set an example for us so that all that are still in the bush, so they will understand, have that courage to lay down their arms and come to the center.
Beyond the creation of the Disarmament, Demobilization and Reintegration Center, the former separatist fighters want more job creation opportunities in order to fully reintegrate themselves into the society.
I am a carpenter and I am also a glass cutter. At the same time, I need the government to provide me with my workshop so that I can be able to make up with my own family.
The children who are still in the bushes take advantage of the goodies which are in the special status, so that we can collectively see how to go about the implementation of the special status so that our region can develop further.
This festive atmosphere concludes 2 days of Christmas-related activities at the DDR Center in Bamenda that also involved a solidarity football match among former separatist fighters.
Workers resumed timidly in most public offices in Yaoundé day after Christmas feast that was celebrated right into the early hours of this morning. Sinta Etim visited some of the offices and reports that there was no trace of workers in many, while some staff who managed to be present looked tired.
8 a.m. December 26, 2019, the door to this office awaits its occupant. The workers here are probably still to get over the excitement of the Christmas feast. Even as cleaners ensure the place is clean, the working environment is timid. However, to other duty-conscious Cameroonians in other ministerial buildings, there is no time to forgo work for pleasure.
It's just about normal that we don't mix feast with work. I knew I was going to come to work, so there was no need going for excesses, since I knew today was a working day, and I had to do everything knowing that I had to be at work.
A pile of documents here needs attending to, and there is no second to waste since duty calls.
Yesterday was just Christmas Day, and that day was enough to this. There are many work that are waiting for me, and I have to go through those work.
Although the ambience in most administrations was timid, many personnel could still make it to work on Boxing Day.
Most vendors in Yaoundé are already complaining that the hustle and bustle which was witnessed before Christmas has given way and they barely have clients. Yoti Kalelisonge was added to the market and brought back this report.
Circulation is fluid. The vendors are present, but no affluence are there to the market.
Because Christmas is past, price don't change. Because we buy this food you see too expensive. Price is change after 1 year.
It's a hot day and it's tough. So these tomatoes, normally sold at 1,200 CFA francs, are auctioned at 1,000 francs to entice the few clients at the market on Boxing Day.
Tout ça là, 1000 francs c'est chaud, il fait chaud. Il n'y a pas l'argent dehors.
Still no luck for others who regret that they have sold little or nothing since December 24.
Rien n'est entré. Du 24 jusqu'au 26.
I came to the market from 7 o'clock, so I'm close to around past 2. So it means that the market is so scanty.
The chicken stalls are empty, an indication that the vendors must have exhausted their stock. Even on December 26, selling a chicken is good business. At the supermarket, it is all smiles.
Today we also have customers, so everything is going well. All is okay, all is okay.
In all this, not even the will to sell after celebrating on Christmas Day can permit this vendor cheat nature.
Cameroon's elections management body ELECAM is about ready with the material preparation for the February 19 municipal and legislative elections. The Director General of Elections, Eric Esuse, had assessed the state of readiness in an interview granted CRTV today in the nation's capital. Killian Dandifon reports.
Elections Cameroon's ELECAM's headquarters is as busy as a beehive, and attention has also been moved to different points in Yaoundé to ensure smooth material preparation for the February 19 municipal and legislative elections. The National Printing Press is one of these points. Top management of the electoral body has a positive note for material preparation this far.
We can be now at 40%. At January, we can be at more than 50%. We are going very good and very smoothly, and we are very sure for the future.
Much of the strategic material has already been produced.
We have produced list and electoral cards. And you know that for the electoral list is for 30 December. We are trying to do that. The ballot paper will be ready at time in 20 or 25 or 25th January. We will be at a good level to say that we are ready for the next elections.
ELECAM has enlarged its traditional partners for the production of electoral materials.
We are working with SOPECAM, with the Imprimerie Nationale, we also with the private partners, so that you know that there is much work to do.
The machines are rolling and churning out materials for the February 9 to impose.
In a running series on decentralization, the role of the population as contributors to the effectiveness of the process has been highlighted in the law instituting the General Code of Regional and Local Authorities. From making proposals aimed at fostering development in localities to the follow-up of projects, the participation of citizens is described as a laudable initiative. Clarice Aritakan.
Take, for instance, that there is need for a borehole in a certain community, or perhaps council or communal roads in a poor state are up for rehabilitation. Well, it is no longer solely the responsibility of the local authority to initiate works in that regard. The law instituting the General Code of Regional and Local Authorities has opened the door for a participatory approach. Citizens are called to task.
Any natural or legal person may propose to the council or regional executive any measures aimed at fostering the development and or improving the functioning of the local authority concerned.
We go to the populations, we ask them to give us their priority projects. We do village diagnosis, then we come out with these documents.
From spectator and sometimes helpless observer to actors of their own socio-economic development, inhabitants are equally entitled to act as follow-up guide to ensure the proper execution of works and proper budgetary management.
Any inhabitant or taxpayer of a local authority may, at his expense, request the disclosure or obtain a complete or partial copy of the reports of deliberative organs, the budget draft and annual performance reports, development plans laid down by regulations.
Experts insist that partners in local development is thus the relationship which should guide citizens and those who have administrative authority over them, as their collaboration may either make or mar the process.
Cameroonians have saluted the promulgation into law by the head of state on the bill on decentralization. While people rejoice that it would push local developments forward, with them participating, many see it as revolutionary, given that it has ceded much powers to them. Emanuela Vemnui gathered their views and reports that they want an immediate implementation of the law on decentralization.
The rapidity at which the bill moved from Parliament to be promulgated into law is the first thing local authorities and some Cameroonians have saluted.
It's the best thing that happened to Cameroon. I hope it will be effectively in our country.
It's a revolution. Us, like mayor, will make all our possibility to implement this test.
The mayors see this law as one that will push local development to its prime.
15% of the state budget will be allocated to municipalities and regions.
And the special status for the Northwest and Southwest regions.
We think that the Regional Assembly will be able to answer some of the questions that are being asked today as far as the development of the regions is concerned. The House of Chiefs, in particular, puts a lot of importance on the positions that our traditional traditional rulers of Gopan.
The status of mayors has equally been fully defined by the law, and the local authorities aren't mute on this.
Some of the powers of the administrations are no longer as before. Some of the powers are given to the mayors. So the mayors should also be people who can take decisions, who are capable of taking decisions that will affect the life of their communities.
The law is here, and Cameroonians, especially local authorities, are anxious to see it fully implemented.
The bill on bilingualism, recently promulgated by the President of the Republic after it was voted by Parliament, has been generating excitement in Cameroon. It guarantees equal opportunities for two official languages, English and French, and orders its use in all official documents and public offices. Alice May gathered some reactions and now reports.
The Pilot Linguistics Center a day after the head of state signed the law that renders the two official languages, English and French, equal in status. Administrators here have welcomed this law.
Pilot centers can be created at the level of regions and departments so that Cameroonians should learn both languages. At the level of government schools and colleges, students usually escape from either English or French classes, so the law is welcome.
In the administrative quarters in Yaoundé, state functionaries see this as the president's desire to strengthen national integration, bilingualism and multiculturalism in the country.
The law is very good. It will permit both languages to be at the same level. If I can speak in French and somebody gives me an answer in English, it will permit us to be bilingual. Our English-speaking brothers struggle to speak both languages, but very few Francophones speak English, so for me it is good.
According to the text, English and French will be used as equal languages, especially in public institutions. The government will also be responsible to encourage citizens to express themselves in English and French, as well as push for the equal use of both official languages by private entities, employers, labor and civil society organizations. Bilingualism will also be promoted in schools in the country. It is also one of the fruits of the recently organized Major National Dialogue.
2019 has been a busy year in terms of societal issues. Some of them include numerous back-to-school campaigns in the northwest and southwest regions prior to September 2, Cameroon's considerable contribution to the 6th Replenishment Conference of the Global Fund, landslides, just to name a few. Cynthia Saptola takes us down memory lane in the following report.
The year 2019 was choked full of social events throughout the territory. The main highlights include the launch of the Youth Connect project, which aimed at networking enterprising youths to opportunities, government's determination to control interurban transport and reduce the mortality rates on the road, and the numerous campaigns organized for the effective resumption of schools in the crisis-affected regions, notably in the northwest and southwest. After a couple of security meetings organized by administrative and educational stakeholders at the national and regional levels, elites from the respective communities joined in the peace campaigns, encouraging many who resumed their classrooms September 2nd. Another high point of 2019 was the recruitment of 2,000 PhD holders as lecturers in state universities. Based on the presidential order signed in 2018, the recruitment process began this year with over 1,000 hired. In a continuous effort to provide concrete solutions to the pressing need for teaching staff, November 2019 was also marked by another presidential order to recruit 500 translators and translator-interpreters into the public service. 2019 was also an important year for Cameroon in her battle against HIV, AIDS, and malaria. At the Global Fund's 6th Replenishment Conference in Lyon, France, which took place in October, Cameroon's donation of 3 billion CFA francs to the $14 billion contributed made it one of the largest provided by an African country to fight against AIDS, malaria, and tuberculosis. These important events were also dampened with some catastrophes, with the Ngwache landslide in Bafoussam being the most devastating this 2019, where 43 people were killed and 900 affected.
The government of Cameroon has been experimenting with Youth Connect, an initiative which seeks to connect young people with their role models and opportunities to permit them to discover potential fields of employment. The project, championed by the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Civic Education, targets the creation of 5,000 jobs in 3 years. Ranatu Sali presents that project.
It is a virtual platform to connect young people to development opportunities. The Youth Connect initiative, the first of its kind in Cameroon, puts together more than 5,000 youths at the Yaoundé Multipurpose Sports Complex. The objective, connect young people with their role models, young peers, available resources, expert skills, economic, civic and political opportunities that will permit them discover the potential fields of employment. Youth Connect Cameroon initiative was launched on December 9, 2019, as a response to the different challenges and aspirations of the youth. It seeks to maximize their empowerment and facilitate their full participation in development by creating a virtual platform to connect youth nationwide and give them exposure. The project has set targets to create 5,000 jobs for youth in the next 3 years.
We need to train more than 100,000 young ambassadors for peace. We intend to interconnect more than 1 million young Cameroonians so that they will be able to connect themselves with the different opportunities.
Championed by the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Civic Education, the National Youth Council and the United Nations Development Programme, Youth Connect Cameroon initiative will equip youths with the skills and knowledge to take full advantage of the employment and entrepreneurship opportunities that their environment offers for self-development and the advancement of their communities.
The salient topics treated by our society desk this year were the Youth Connect launch, the Ngwache landslide in Bafoussam and road accidents which continue to kill hundreds. To talk about this major cause of death which robs the state of Cameroon 100 billion CFA francs according to statistics is our society desk reporter Beatrice Losamba. You're welcome, Beatrice.
Thanks for having me, Moki.
And let's go straight to the point. Sure, there were accidents this year, but apparently the numbers dropped significantly.
Yes, and it's probably not time to go celebrating this drop, Moki, but it stirs a lot of hope to know that efforts have succeeded in maintaining a stable drop. And it suffices to just look at the statistics, to know the road that has been walked already. The World Bank has revealed that deaths from road accidents took a downward trend to 937 yearly by 2018, and I'm quoting here rather the World Health Organization in Cameroon. And the World Bank reinforces this by talking of a 31% drop in deaths, accidents in Cameroon as well that same year. And at this year, the Ministry of Transport is talking of a 31% drop in deaths from accidents, and also about 3 times less deaths from accidents since 2011. That's about 8 years ago. And then it was very alarming in 2011, and that called for the United Nations to declare the decade of road safety. And so Cameroon has been basing on that to work very hard to reduce the rate of accidents in the country. Well, it's very significant, but it's not yet time to celebrate.
What accounts for this significant drop?
Well, what the government basically did was it angled its campaigns on reinforcing checks on the state of vehicles, on road infrastructure, on influencing behavior, and also on working to improve its post-accident response to prevent deaths. The Ministry of Transport, which sets the national road policies, has often cracked down on defaulters with the help of the National Gendarmerie, and it has also banned scores of illegal road transport agencies. Scores of these agencies guilty of overspeeding were also sounded serious warnings on another occasion, and repressive measures most of the time, but we've also seen them hitting really hard, closing down an agency which did not guarantee passenger safety, and we've also seen them, seizing the driving or the training permit of a driving school that was actually cracked down and they noticed that there was fraud in that school.
And
so, it would seem that there's also been a close collaboration between the ministry and Transporters Union, which has also borne fruit.
Before you leave us, as 2020 approaches to end the UN's decade of road safety, we would imagine measures are tougher to reach the set mark.
Yes, since there is still a lot to do, because even just one life lost is still very alarming, and it's a preoccupying thing to the government. The government seems to know exactly where to put in its efforts, Moki. Overspeeding, the #1 cause of accidents. Vehicles condition is the second, and alcohol consumption comes in third place. Poor driving as well, and hazardous overtaking are to be handled in order to hit this target. And next year, the Ministry of Transport announces that it is going to introduce new speed radars in all parts of the territory, in major roads of the country. And the Bafoussam, Yaoundé, and the Yaoundé Douala Bafoussam roads are actually the most accident prone, and so there are going to be faster speed radars on these roads to track down defaulters. And the government also says that it's not only going to install these speed radars and fine defaulters who have had to pay 25,000 CFA francs each time they were faulty. It's going to make sure now that the driver's licenses are seized. For example, if you actually violated the law, you not only have to pay the 25,000 CFA francs fine, but your driving permit will be taken away, and you might not have one again for 5 years.
Thanks, Beatrice. I think the most important thing here is that the accidents have reduced. And thanks very much for coming.
Thanks for having me, Moki.
Yeah. Now, we'll move over to the Northwest region, where the hygiene and sanitation company Hizakam has embarked on an operation to clear all the garbage heaps in Bamenda after it was obliged to stop work due to insecurity. Hizakam officials say they want to provide adequate sanitation, improve the health of civilians, and give them enjoyable end-of-year feast. Sonita Loya has the details from Bamenda.
This is a town that prides itself on its attachment to cleanliness. But for many months now, Bamenda has become a dumping ground, a city of filth. Here in Azuri Old Church Junction, Hizakam is busy removing the mountainous heaps of rubbish.
The situation in town was so uncomfortable, and with the garbage piling up everywhere, and cholera already announced in some regions, we thought it wise that we should brave the courage to start again and to see how we can help keep diseases out of the town of Bamenda.
Just the other day, there was a bike and a car accident, and we later heard that the bikeman's leg was cut off due to the dirt because the dirt has consumed more than half of the road. And our businesses around here also are having a lot of difficulties because customers don't come due to the bad smell that is coming out of the dirt.
The resumption of activity by Hizakam's garbage removal agents is a welcome relief to the Bamenda City Council area, where some parts were repulsive because of their overpowering stench.
Within the past few days, the quality of work that Hizakam is doing is to tell you that they have a lot in them to keep Bamenda one of the cleanest towns in this country, if they are allowed to work.
They have been having a field day cleaning the town with a caterpillar tractor and a dumper truck, plus the agents armed with spades. And Hizakam officials have expressed the wish to be allowed to do their work while requesting that the population help in keeping Bamenda clean.
And that ends the 7:30 news on CRTV. The next news is coming up at 8:30 in the French language. Please remember to join Staff Lady Siseko Tamko in our program Policy Line at 9 p.m. That is after the news in the French language. It will zoom into the Dion Gute government in 2019. I am Moki Edwin Kinzeka in Yaoundé. Thank you for watching.